Hey Branson, how are you?
I'm fine. How about yourself, sir?
Doing good, thanks. Last time I looked, anyway. Uh, Branson, did you hear about Virginia is looking to change the hemp laws?
No, I haven't.
They've introduced somebody has introduced regulations that are more stringent than federal farm bill, and people are going crazy. You might Google it. Uh,
Yeah, because they just opened up across the board in Virginia for THC and hemp. So
yeah, check
that
it
would,
out.
yeah.
This is aimed at THC, Delta 8, Delta 9. They say it makes you intoxicated. I just read a little bit about it, but it's something I thought of you when I saw it. Who who is who is MLEONAI?
Dennis, it's Martha in Franklin County. How are you doing?
Martha, there you are. How are you?
Good. I'm in my
Good.
office today. Thank you for coming last when you spoke on the meat marketing. You did great. I could have listened to you all day. So that's why I'm on here again today. This should
You
be
are so
great.
nice. You are
Thank
so
you.
nice. I have to tell you, your story about the goats is just cracked me up. I just thought that was hysterical. The grass is greener on the other side and jumping over the fence and eating your Christmas lights. I thought that was the highlight of
It's something. So I hope a lot of people will like goat meat around Easter, the holiday, because that's where they're going.
yeah.
Goat meat right before Easter. Yep.
Oh God, that is too funny. Well, apparently you probably know this. I did not know this. My wife knows everything. So it's called mutton in India, goat meat, as opposed to lamb. So I thought that was interesting.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hey, I can't keep. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Big Jack.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hey Big Jack. Martha.
Good morning, Martha. I recognized your voice.
Yes, how are you doing?
Oh, living large.
Good.
That's right. And in wintertime, I tend to live large, and then I work the rest of the year to try to be not living large. Hey, Lisa, I was going to, hey, Kaim, how are you?
Hey, good morning,
Time,
everybody.
I need to get you in a music video.
And, and I bet there's a peanut suit involved, huh?
It is. It is.
I knew it would be.
Promotion, sir.
Yeah. Hey, I got you, brother. I hear you. That's what it's all about.
Hey, Lisa, I was going to ask you, is your gelato available in stores?
No, I do sell to some companies that sell it by the scoop. They scoop it to their, but I do have some retailers who want it. It's going to be in a store in Wilmington. And then, I mean, it's for wholesale for sale to retailers.
Of course.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then there's another store in Texas that wants it, but it's too much to ship it to her.
Well, just if she wants it bad enough, right?
She wouldn't be making much money off of it.
Yeah. Have you looked at this pirate ship? Has anybody looked at that?
I did. I looked at Pirate Ship. It was still expensive.
Okay. Because I think it was Ruth Taylor found out that it was much better than what she had been doing, which I think was regional USPS. And she found that pirate ship was a lot cheaper in her case. So I don't know all the ins and outs, but I was just curious about that.
Yeah, I usually buy from other retailers, North Carolina and South Carolina, to have some of their products in my little retail shop. And this one company that makes Chow Chow out of South Carolina, ordering some stuff from her, but her wholesale price is $8 a jar. And then I think it's like $12 and something to ship. So it makes it $9 a jar. And she suggests you sell it for $10 to $12 a jar. So you're only making a couple of dollars off of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Lisa, do you have any Gullah seasoning or Gullah stuff?
No, it's funny. We were just talking about Gullah Geechee because I am in a group in South Carolina. This friend of mine that I met when I was in Las Vegas, she's in a group that I'm in, and she's a farmer. And she was telling me, because we plant fruits and vegetables. We're doing a greenhouse and all kinds of stuff. We're building up our produce to have a big farm. And she was telling me that they have this big conference there, and they're going to have Gullah Geechee food and all different kinds of stuff. And I said, my grandfather's family is from there, and they're Gullah Geechee.
Yeah, I have a friend who I do a lot of media stuff for, who has a whole line of Gullah Geechee products, and she's already has them ready. She's has them retail in South Carolina, but she's looking to expand. So
Okay.
I'll get your contact information and get you in contact with her if you don't mind.
Right. Sounds good.
All right. Well, we're going to take a second here. I just want to show you something that I found that I by no means have figured it out, but I figured I would show you guys this. So this company, I think they just started in September, believe it or not. And they just raised $43 million last week, which is pretty insane. And they're called Tome, Tome. So I'm going to give you just a really quick little demo. I just find it incredible personally, but let's just let me share my screen and show you guys. So what they have done is they have integrated all this new AI stuff that's out in the marketplace and turned it into a product that even a moron like me can actually get something out of, which I find remarkable. So I'm gonna give a little quick demo, and hopefully you won't fall asleep. But let me just show you. And I don't even know how to use it, so please don't ask me too many questions. So you get this screen here when you start off, and you hit this create button. So in this case, I've got it set up to do a presentation, and then I can pick what kind of images I want, because remember, this is all being generated by AI. So I can pick epic fantasy, neo-impressionist, pop art. Let's just pick watercolor for the fun of it. And then presentation, we'll do Opal's candies, just for the fun of it. And keep in mind, I don't know, I think you're supposed to train it by giving it URLs or whatever for what you're trying to do so that it learns. But let's just see what happens. So this is creating an investor presentation or a marketing presentation, all done, as you can kind of see, hopefully. So it's kind of making up stuff here. I don't know where it gets it from, but let me make sure you all can see it. But it's creating a story. And it's a little slow loading here. Let's see if these pictures show up. So I told it to use watercolors, but there are lots of different choices of the kind of photos that you can pick. But so far, it's created 8 pages of a marketing presentation. Let's just kind of go through it a little bit here and see if I can. Okay, so. Anyway, the idea behind it is it gives you an outline to start from, and it's supposedly using best practices or most successful practices of this kind of stuff. So just kind of walking you through here. So anyway, so it's very rough. I don't know how to use it yet. But then you can keep the presentation or you can tell it to try again. And there's more to it. And I'll get up to speed with it. They have a little quick start guide, but I tried several brands, and some are better than others. I guess it depends on how much content is on the web that this thing can look at. not quite sure. But you could create websites from this. You can create presentations, pitches. I can't hear you, Kaim, if you're trying to talk to me. Okay. Okay. So anyway, I found it fascinating. You can also you can go further and you can say, I want a deck for pitching an investor. Or I want a deck that pitches a retailer, et cetera. So it's pretty cool, the stuff that it can do. I just want to point that out to you guys. So anyway, okay. So
Is that
today,
AI based? It's AI based, correct?
absolutely, it's got the new Chat GPT and the DALL-E 2 for images, and who knows what else. I never even heard about them until this morning when I got a press release about their $43 million fundraising. And, you know, when somebody raises that kind of money after about 6 months in business, it's worth taking a look and seeing, you know, what are they doing? What's it all about? But I like their idea of taking these tools, which frankly are not that easy to get results that you want, right? That you're trying to get. You can play around with them, but this is a little more directed, a little bit more consumer friendly. And I thought about it, you know, like if you're creating, you know, social media ads or you're creating presentations or any of that kind of stuff, you know, it might be helpful. So TOME is the name of the company. I think the website is tome.app, tome.app. So I'll stick that in the chat just for the fun of it. Maybe if I can find chat. Let's see here. Chat. Okay. So, there we go. Okay. So today we're going to visit with a woman who has been highlighted by a company called Barn to Door. Barn to Door is a e-commerce platform primarily for small family farmers. And some of you may be familiar with it. We've actually worked with them. In our first class, we had several farmers in our first class, and I was able to get them deals from Barn to Door at that time. I'm no longer able to get them for whatever reason. But so we had some people use this software. So as a result, I've gotten on their mailing list, and they have an annual conference every year, which is online, and they have several thousand customers at this point. But this woman is from North Carolina, the farm's in North Carolina, and the subject caught my eye because she talks about building your brand both online and in person. And keep in mind that this is farming, so it may not apply directly to you, but I think the concepts are helpful. And it's not super long. It's about 25 minutes long. So let's take a look at that.
Hey everybody, my name is Liz Mason, and I, along with my husband, run Honeybee Hills Farm in Prospect Hill, North Carolina. Today I'm going to be talking about building branding channels online and offline to grow your farm brand. We've had a fun and exciting experience on our farm over the last 4 years that we've been farmers, growing from about a half-acre business up to about 15 acres of produce at this point, really coming into our own the last couple of years in the middle of a pandemic and all the craziness that's ensued. So I'm excited to be able to share our story with you today and go into some of these details about how we run our farm. So about 4 years ago, my husband and I started Honeybee Hills Farm. We bought some land in Prospect Hill, North Carolina that's near a lot of his family. When we first started, we weren't really planning on farming. I think we would have bought a different place if we were, but we made the best of what we got ourselves into. So we started growing on about a half acre, wanted to do a couple of farmers markets and just have a little fun with it. And we both had other jobs that we were planning on continuing. Pretty quickly though, we decided that we really liked farming. About year 1.5, we made our first hire. And by year 2, both my husband and I were full-time on the farm, and we've been growing ever since then. In the past 4 years, we've gone from about a half acre to 15 acres and all the growing pains in between associated with that type of growth. Right now, we are a certified organic farm, and so we grow organic produce year round. We do organic plants in the spring on people's home gardens, and then we also do flowers in the summer. So our goal as a farm is really to produce fresh, organic, and safe produce, plants and flowers for our local market around where we live in North Carolina. So here on the farm, we grow up to 15 acres of produce in a year, depending on the season. Most of that's not planted out. We grow actively about 10 acres, and then we've got some areas that we rest and we put in cover crops as things kind of cycle through in the season. We're mostly out in the field, but we do have 8 small high tunnels, 100 by 15-foot high tunnels, unheated, that we use in the winter for greens production, and then to extend to the edges of our season with things like tomatoes and peppers early and late into the fall. And we grow over 100 different types of produce throughout the year, all sorts of greens, roots, herbs, strawberries, watermelons. Sometimes we try to grow things and we aren't successful, but if we grow enough things, most of them will succeed. Our CSA program really came out of the need to pivot during the COVID pandemic. We started very small. We launched in the spring of 2020, and our first summer season, we had 30 households as members. We do offer the CSA year round, and now we're up to about 100 members in the summer and 50 to 60 members for our fall and our winter CSAs. So our commitment to our local community and sustainability is really about our commitment to quality and safety of the food that we produce. And we're very proud that we meet or exceed all of the organic certification standards. We also follow very strict food safety guidelines. This has helped us provide a quality product to our customers at the farmers markets, home delivery, but has also allowed us to do wholesale as well and have access to customers like grocery stores who really believe in food safety and require us to show them our commitment to food safety. We worked with a local organization in North Carolina, the Carolina Farm Stewardship Association, to help us achieve our organic certification and also our commitment to quality and safety. And so for us, we became certified organic on year 2 of our farm. So our farm has really grown since we started 4 years ago. We started on a small plot of our land and about a half acre, and we've almost doubled in size every year since then to be up to the size that we're at today. And that's had a lot of interesting management challenges that I did not fully appreciate when I came in to be a farmer in the first place. I thought farming was really just about putting some seeds in the ground and taking care of them and growing them and producing a product. But the bigger you get, the more it is about management, it's about hiring, it's about making sure that your staff are well trained and safe and appreciated and can put in the work that you need as a team to achieve your goals as a group. We've really had to learn over the last 4 years how to be better managers, in addition to how to be better farmers, starting kind of from scratch on both things. So in our growth, we've really had to see who's good at what things and build that team structure. And I think that's really important no matter what your size. The minute that you grow from being a farm that's just one person doing everything, you have to be able to communicate with everybody around you and be able to delegate and negotiate and work together as a team to achieve all of your goals. So for our farm, the decision to sell online really came down to COVID. 3 of our farmers markets were closed down completely. So what do you do then? We turned to the internet to try to reach our customers. So the first iteration of what selling online meant to us was to offer home delivery to the immediate neighborhoods surrounding our farmers markets that had closed. That very quickly transitioned into a full-scale delivery business for us. We still have some customers where safety is a concern, but a lot of our customers have turned to home delivery because of convenience. Now we have kind of 2 sides of our online presence. For our online store, one is home delivery. We go directly to houses 2 to 4 days a week, depending on the season. And then we also offer pickups at our farmers market because people are interested and they want to be able to go through and pre-order all the things that they want so they know what they're going to receive at the farmers market. They don't have to risk us running out of a certain product early in the market. They know what they're going to buy. They know what they're going to take home. And so for us as a farm and as a business, we started accepting orders online because of COVID. But for us, it's really grown into a large part of our business and something that we will continue to do going forward. Home delivery for us is the equivalent of doing 2 additional farmers markets a week. It's an easier way for us as a farm to scale up without having to add an additional burden on Saturday mornings. And offering online sales is really the only way that we would be able to do that from a logistics perspective. Being able to partner with a company like Barn to Door that has a platform that just makes everything easy and automated both for us and for our customers. We did not go back to one of our farmers markets this year after it opened back up. We were actually able to drop one of our markets and get that revenue through home delivery instead. So now that we are online, we're doing a lot of different work out there in the digital space. Developing a brand was very important. So we have a graphics package that we can use across both our digital space and our physical space. We have a logo, we have a social media specific logo, we have a font set, we've got a set of colors that we use, and we can tie those together from both our website, our social media presence, and our farmers market booths. We've also got a big banner that is behind us at the farmers market that follows that graphics package. We also invested in a wrap for our delivery van, has our graphics on the side of it, and specifically talks about home delivery. So if somebody sees you in the neighborhood, they know how to reach out to get our organic produce delivered to them. You know, it's important for us to be consistent across all of the different ways that we present ourselves as a farm. So in addition to having a graphics package that we use, our message also needs to be consistent as a farm. We have some core beliefs about the quality of our food, the safety of our food, and following the organic standards. So those are things that we like to talk about on our website, on social media, and we're always happy to talk to people at the farmers market in person. So being able to communicate with our customers about, you know, food safety, food quality, and organic standards has been a part of the brand that we have tried to establish as a farm. CSAs and subscriptions have become a very important part of our farm business. We started offering a CSA in the spring of 2020. CSAs give us a great way to connect with our customers on a longer term basis as opposed to just every Saturday at the farmers market. It gives us a way to communicate back and forth. It gives people a way to see the seasonality of their produce and interact with us as a farm. You know, some things that go bright and you get lots and lots of a product. You know, hopefully things like strawberries, you get a lot of strawberries, or sometimes things don't go well. And a product that we think we're going to be able to get to you, we end up not being able to. Being able to have those conversations with customers about the challenges of farming and the challenges of the heartbreak of having a crop loss, and having to tell people, yes, I was planning on giving you some organic corn this year, but the deer came in and ate every single one. So we fed the local deer population, but we may not have gotten it to you this year. We'll try again next year. And so having that conversation has been really a great part of building a CSA with our customers. So we offer a year-round CSA program. We've split the year into 3 seasons. We offer a long summer season, which goes from about April until September. And then we offer 2 smaller season packages, one for fall and one for the winter. We have some customers that stay with us year round. We have some customers who only are interested more in the summer produce, so they're with us for the main season in the summer. We really like having a CSA that's convenient for people. And one of the features that we liked when we selected Barn to Door as our online store provider is that we can cater to lots of different types of customers. And so we have some CSA customers that they are set it and forget it. They're going to go in, enroll in the CSA, pay for the subscription, you know, either upfront or weekly, but they don't have to do anything ever again. It just comes to their door and we are good to go. And that's great for customers who want that convenience and they don't want to have to go in and make changes all the time and interact with us. We also have some customers who might get one of our smaller produce subscriptions and they have the option to go into the system and include add-on items. And so that's been great for our CSA customers who want to be involved in the CSA and they want to have a subscription with a farm, but they might want to have a little more control over the produce that they receive. So they get our base package. And then they can add things onto it to increase the produce that they receive on a weekly basis. And the convenience and flexibility of that system really works well for us, and it works well for our customers. And that way it allows people to customize how long they want to stay in the CSA. We offer a large produce share option. We also offer a small, and in the summer, we do offer a flour CSA, and we also have some additional add-on CSAs like local eggs from one of our partner farms. Home delivery has allowed us to reach a lot of customers who wouldn't necessarily be our customers just at the farmer's market. We love the farmer's market. We love going to the farmer's market, but attending a market from 8 until noon on Saturdays isn't for every customer. So we have really appreciated being able to go to our customers through our home delivery routes and to bring organic local produce to them and being able to interact with those customers. Our biggest advantage in home delivery is asking our CSA members to talk to their neighbors, talk to their friends and family, and help us increase the density of our route. You know, we found that our CSA members are invested in the success of our farm, and they want to see us succeed, and they love our food, and they're happy to tell everybody that lives near them that they should also join the CSA. So that's been great. We have taken out some advertisement on our local NPR radio station, which was super fun to hear our name said over the air. And we also wrapped our delivery van, which I'm super proud of. It looks fantastic, and it lets people see as we're coming through their neighborhood that there is an option to have local organic produce delivered straight to their door. For our farm, social media has been a large part of establishing our brand and reaching out to our customers. I try to post every day a photo or a video that helps people see what's going on at the farm, what we have available, what might be coming up, or just a story about how we're doing what we're doing. So one of the things that I also try to do every week is to post a photo of our CSA contents, and I found that helps create some conversation around the seasonality of our produce. It also helps people see what's coming up in their deliveries, and hopefully it engages with some new customers and gives them an idea of why they might want to join the CSA. It's also been super helpful when I talk to people at the farmers market about, why they would join a subscription type program. I can point them to our social media, and they can go and scroll through the photos of what people have received in the past, and hopefully helps them get a little bit excited and push them over the edge to go ahead and sign up for the CSA program. I do try to post things that are interesting around the farm. A lot of social media revolves around success and how well you're doing. I've also found that people appreciate when you share some of your failures. Farming's hard, and bad things happen. Some things caused by nature or pests, some things caused by us. Sometimes we make mistakes. And so sharing some of those stories so that our customers know, we're human, we're working in nature. These are all the things that could happen on an organic farm. Really helps build that sense of community, and helps our customers understand where we're coming from and why we might show up at market one day and not have any lettuce. Well, we would normally have lettuce, but we had a pest move in and ate all of our lettuce. And here's a picture of a very sad lettuce plant. So helping people understand some of the challenges in farming, and that, some things work and some things don't. We're a relatively young farm. We've been doing this for 4 years. So being able to engage with people through digital, through media platforms has helped us create a connection, especially with our home delivery customers who don't necessarily get to interact with me or my husband or my brother-in-law or anybody who works on the farm at the farmer's market. So it helps them put a face to the things that we're trying to do. We send out 2 email newsletters per week. I send out 1 email newsletter to all of the contacts that we have managed to accumulate in our MailChimp account. And that email summarizes what's going on the farm. It talks about what products are coming up. It talks about what's available in the online store. If we might have things that are going to be available at the farmer's market that aren't available in the online store, and helps engage with our customer base to get them up to speed on what's been happening that week. The second email that I send is specifically for our CSA members, and that email also includes the information about what's going on in the farm, but it specifically details the items that we plan on putting in our produce CSA for that week. I'll usually include a description of them. If I've got a recipe I particularly like, I will link to that recipe, and that allows us to engage with people about the items that they're going to receive. It also allows me to suggest add-on items. We are fortunate that many weeks we have more items available than I can fit in a CSA, and the CSA includes between 4 to 8 items depending on the size. There's always a lot of things that I'm excited about that I would love to also put in, but I don't want to overfill the boxes too much and scare people with their produce. So the email allows me to suggest to people the additional items that I might use if I were going to make a recipe with the CSA content for the week. One of the things that I really like from having worked with Barn to Door is that they help us set up our email newsletter template in MailChimp. And so to go back to brand, everything looks the same. If you're looking at our website, it has the same persona as if you're looking at an email. It's got the same logos, it has the same fonts, it has the same colors. And so it gives us consistency in our brand across platforms. I also really like the product buttons that MailChimp has. If you haven't used those before, when you're writing an email, you can actually insert products on your Barn to Door store with direct links for people to purchase those products. So if I'm including tomatoes and okra in the CSA, I might have a little product button that includes hot peppers if people want to add some hot peppers into their stewed okra. We've also noticed that the newsletter is our biggest driver of online sales. The vast majority of our sales come within 24 hours of sending out our Monday emails. We'll have people who order throughout the week, but for the most part, that email triggers people to go look at the online store and place their orders so that they're going to get their delivery later in the week, or they're going to pick up at the farmer's market on Tuesday or Saturday. For our farm, building a brand has been about communicating high quality, safe, and organic produce. And so the way that we've looked at this is from a holistic perspective. We have our graphics, we have our colors, we have our band wrap, we have a unified front when it comes to digital and physical media that we present. For us, it also includes things like sending weekly emails, reaching out to people on social media, including information in our posts that is interesting or engaging or thought-provoking or just funny. And being able to engage with our customers anytime that we do, we're conveying a brand that allows people to understand that the things that they're going to be consuming are organic, they're safe, they're high quality, and they're great products to bring home, for themselves and for their family to provide nourishment. They cook, they make memories around it, and food is a universal language. And so being able to provide food to people is a great honor. We pride ourselves on being able to communicate those goals of providing high quality, safe, organic produce through our brand, no matter how it is conveyed to the customer. So our goals and vision for the future really revolve around consolidating the success that we've had so far and making improvements where we can. We're now completely built out on the land that we have, and we're really looking forward next year to investing our time and resources into maintaining what we've been able to grow as a business land-wise, and to really be able to focus on improving as farmers and growing better products, having fewer losses, being able to push the edges of the season a little bit, get some things earlier, have some things later, and make those improvements as farmers. From a business perspective, we really look to continue to grow our CSA program. We love having the CSA year round. We love our CSA members. I think it's a great way to connect to people. It's a great way to help us smooth the seasons and some of those highs and lows that we used to feel when we were only doing farmers markets and we were a little more dependent on the nature gods and whether or not it was going to rain in the middle of a market and everybody would go running for their cars. So we really appreciate CSA members' dedication to our farm and their willingness to join us for entire season and see it all the way through with us. And so that's been very rewarding, and it's something that we want to continue to grow and to encourage as a farm. We're going to continue to offer our home delivery service for the foreseeable future. That works really well for us as a farm to be able to get safe organic produce to that segment of customers that we don't have access to if we just stayed within the confines of the farmers market world. So we've appreciated people letting us into their homes, and we're looking to increase the density of our home delivery service. Barn to Door has a lot of great resources to help us as farmers grow our business and expand into this new and exciting digital age of online sales. They offer the Barn to Door office hours where you can connect with other farmers and ask them directly some of your questions. I know when I was setting up my CSA and our online store, I had a lot of questions about how do I get the store features to work with the way that I want to interact with my customers.
Yeah, I think the rest of this is basically advertising for Barn to Door. So I'm gonna cut that off at the moment. Any reactions to what she was talking about?
Dennis, in our meat marketing class 2 weeks ago, one of our local women farmers, it was the showcased at lunch with the producer panel. She sort of went away from this marketing avenue because they would just consumer really didn't know, as far as the meat goes, how much the total bill was going to be. And she said, as a consumer, when she orders something, a roast or something, pork roast online or a beef roast, she wants to know the total value up front, not just when it's delivered. So that was the negative about the Barn to Door marketing, if you can remember what she was saying there. But I'm open. I'm just still learning myself.
Yeah, I think, go ahead, Jack.
I've run into a similar situation. Produce box, which kind of acts like a CSA, was reached out looking for meat producers who could provide a uniform product, weight-wise mostly, but that would, and we're talking like cuts, like steaks, and that would be very precise so that they could offer that fixed price rather than a price per pound. So where that the price from one steak to the next might be 20, 30, 60 cents or more difference. They wanted to be able to offer a firm single price. And for small farmers, the problem was our processors are not able to be that precise in cutting the meats. One surprisingly has the equipment to do that, but said given the current market conditions, it wasn't economical to use that piece of machinery. Couldn't quite figure that one out, but yeah, that's one problem with cuts of ground meat. Not a problem usually, but like with cuts, like steaks and roast, you're going to have variance in the weight, and so your price will change, and you're not able to give a firm price unless you pad it a little bit more so that you just cover it when, on average, you hit a happy medium, or you're on the safe side on the buffer. That means somebody's paying more than they would have otherwise.
Okay. Just to kind of, my Barn to Door, I'm really not necessarily advocating Barn to Door. Just really, I like some of the things this woman has done to build her brand, and some of the stuff we talked about. And I think the things that really struck me was the consistency of the brand across all channels. She probably has some kind of marketing background, would be my guess. But that's a really, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's a relatively easy goal to have, to try to make your stuff look the same across the channels, unless there's some particular aspect of the channel that makes that a negative, like TikTok. Maybe TikTok, it doesn't work there. I don't know, but I like that effort. Her delivery truck, she's turned into a marketing piece, and gives the value proposition. If you looked at that picture of that truck. It's got everything you need to know. So I really like that. And the other thing that really struck me, and we forget this so often, at least I do. You talk about how do we get customers? How do we get them to interact with us? How do we get them to buy? And, we've been getting emails for 20 years or however long it's been. And she said by far the biggest source of sales for her is from their email newsletter, which they do once a week. So that to me is a pretty powerful support for something that a lot of us take for granted and we don't really think about. We think about social media, we think about paid advertising, we think about all these things, but really basic, getting email addresses one way or the other, getting people to sign up when they come to your booth, or there's lots of different techniques. I'm not going to get into all that at the moment, but and I think Jack maybe has talked about this. Others have talked about this idea of using a third party. I call them spam cannons. A third party tool like MailChimp or one of these other products. It really does make your life. It makes a lot more sense than trying to send it out of your Outlook. Or go ahead, Jack. What are you going to say?
Okay, I take exception to the spam cannon because these third-party providers will not allow you to do that, and they will shut you down. But they do give you ensure greater deliverability, and they give you analytics as to how you're what's being opened and who's opening it, and you can target your audience and segment it a lot better.
Yeah. Well, I call it a spam cannon because, it's a long story, but I was involved in a marketing program for a university, not where I'm at now. And they had some event they were going to do, and boy, no one was signing up for it. It was just, the dean was so nervous and they had spent a lot of money and all this kind of stuff. So I happened to have a list of about, 6,000 or 7,000 of alumni from this university that I'd gotten by hook or by crook. And so we sent out a little thing, and damn, the thing sold out. And so I became known as a spam cannon guy because that particular incident made a huge difference in that particular event. So anyway, that's the story about that. And I'm not advocating spam, but normally if you give people the choice to opt out and you honor it, and you say, you can put a little sentence, say, you might have forgotten signing up for this. If so, click here to unsubscribe. You can protect it to some degree. But the point of it really is connecting with the customer. She felt like the email newsletter was their chance to interact with their customers and fine tune their offerings or say, hey, have you thought about getting some extra tomatoes with your order or whatever? So I just think that everything she talked about really is pretty close to free as far as sending out emails. I mean, branding, we've talked about this a little bit. I'm a big advocate of black and white logos because you can do so many things with it, including add color if you have to in some cases, but you can put it on all these different platforms without spending a ton of money on a sign, on a truck, on a business card, whatever. So some of this stuff is just really fundamental, and you really should be doing it no matter what else you're doing, in my opinion. And your website and your various tools should allow people to sign up for emails. There's a relatively easy to do a pop-up, say, hey, you want to, get 15% off your next order if you sign up for email or whatever. And then the thing that's emerged here in the last year or so is the ability to send text in a similar way. There are platforms out there. Klaviyo is the one I know the best, but there's a bunch of them that in addition to sending email, it will also send text messages, and it doesn't require it being sent by your phone. It can be sent from your computer, et cetera. So, and some people claim that texting is much better response rates. At some point, it won't be. It'll catch up to email. People go, damn, I'm sick of getting these texts. But it just depends on your product service offering. Some things are seasonal. Some things are, maybe for gifts or holidays. Other things are daily or weekly purchases that people make. So, it's all of this is subject to the filter of whatever your particular business is. But there's some real fundamental things here that I think everybody, you should just do it, and without getting into heavy duty complication. The other thing that she liked in the Barn to Door that I like about Barn to Door is they assign you a product manager and you work with that person. So instead of trying to figure out how the hell do you do this or that, you get in touch with that person and that person does that for you. So that's their big value proposition, is to do all that stuff. And there's trade-offs like anything else. But that is a service that, Shopify does not offer that. Most platforms don't offer that kind of hand-holding, that I won't call it hand-holding, but the kind of technical support to get stuff done that you may not have the experience or the bandwidth to deal with. So that is something. And there are others out there that have that kind of service. So anybody else want to cover anything on what they had to say, what the woman had to say? Okay. Well, this is ironic, and I'm going to end with this, but so they have closed down their farm, and it didn't work out. And they are now on a trip around the world for the next 2 years on a big sailboat, which I just found this out the other day. Jack may know more about it than I do, but and I don't know all the ins and outs. But if you go to their website, I think they've got an explanation of why they quit. And I just love that. I love funny endings. It's just me. I'm kind of sick and twisted, but it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work out. You can do everything right and still have a bad outcome. So Lisa?
Yeah, I know farming's a lot of work. My daughter has a farm. We're just starting out. We just do a little bit, grow blueberries and grapes and stuff like that here. But she has a cannabis farm. I think I told you before, she has her license to sell it to medical dispensaries or medical license. And it's a lot of hard work. And she, no matter how hard she works and stuff and protects her plants and everything, they have bad windstorms in Maine and her plants will get broken up. And it's just a ton of work for her.
And I think also, and I think every business worth doing is a ton of work, but it really is. It's a really good lesson in priorities. At some point, you have to decide, what is your why? Why are you doing this, right? And I don't know these people at all. Love to talk to them. I think it'd be interesting to hear their version of why they stopped. But I don't think that is a negative thing at all. It's not necessarily financially helpful when you close something you work so hard on, spend so much money on, but it may be the right thing for you personally. And in their case, they're sailing around the world. I'd be more afraid of that than being a farmer, to tell you the truth. I'm not much for the open ocean without an engine, but different strokes for different folks. But I admire the fact that they dealt with it. I don't know. They may be very wealthy and it didn't matter. I don't know. But I love that kind of plot twist at the end. You get all this tips and advice, and she's being featured as being this really smart, successful farmer. And next thing you know, they're selling and sailing around the world. I just love shit like that. It's just my personality. but anyway, anything else from our friends, Martha or Jack and the Got to Be NC folks? Okay. All right. Well, tomorrow we're gonna have a kind of a different thing. It's going to be somebody who talks about how you talk to your customers or prospects, really users they call them in the tech world. So I think you'll find that interesting. And then next week, as I reiterate again, I lose track of time, but I think it's next week that we have 11 o'clock class on Wednesday with Andy Galinsky. Any of you who are in the consumer product goods market, packaging, et cetera, it doesn't really matter what the product is, but the concept of selling to consumers and it's some kind of packaged product or good, I say don't miss it. And if anyone could benefit, please don't hesitate to invite them. We have a lot of capacity on this platform, so I think we can handle like 1,000 people or some crazy number like that. So don't hesitate to suggest people to check it out.
I'd like to add something.
Sure.
I'm Bruce Whitehead. I work with Jack at the Department of Agriculture, and thank you for the opportunity to even watch this. It is sad to see what happened to that company, because I have a lot of different backgrounds in advertising, marketing, and now in the retail. And it seemed like, man, they were doing everything right. So it's sad to hear that they're not in business anymore. But I do understand from the farm aspect, working with retailers, that retailers, they don't really give a lot of contracts out, and they don't commit to what's growing next year and everything. So I know it's real hard for small farmers, and these CSAs are the way to go. Don't really know where I'm going with this, but I just want to add to that video that I think if a lot of smaller companies followed her plan, that sounded like the road to success for me.
I agree with you. I agree with you. One thing that struck me, and thank you for your comments. One thing that struck me, I don't know if it struck anyone else, but I'm a big follower of brand messaging and brand promise and all that kind of stuff. And what she kept talking about, I wrote this down. She kept talking about safe, high quality produce. I want stuff that tastes good. There's no discussion about just how good this is, how good it tastes, how much it does for your recipe. It was a message of safety, and it just did not resonate with me. It just seemed an odd thing to hang your hat on, as that, I never really, stop and smell the sizzle, Jack. You just disappeared, Jack. Good trick. Oh, there you are. Yeah, stop and smell the sizzle. There's very little emotion in her branding, very little storytelling, very little, like you and I, we don't know anything about her, right? We don't know where she came from, why they moved there, what their goals were. It seemed like, well, we bought some land because my husband's family lived near there. And we started, tinkering around on a half acre. Well, it's a half acre, hell. I don't think I'd call that a farm myself, but anyway, there was a lot of missing pieces there that if you do get into this, like I have been over the years, you really look for emotion and why and what are you excited about? And it felt very mechanical and very process oriented, as opposed to passion and excitement and we grow the fattest lettuce or whatever. I'm just big on that kind of stuff, and that's what she missed, in my opinion. It was almost like a big company, even though they were tiny. They gave the image of a big company with that consistent branding and across all channels and et cetera. So that would be my initial reaction as to why maybe it didn't go as well as it could have. I don't know. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.